First up tonight, I had to laugh over the weekend when Prime Minister Anthony Albanese used the word aspiration in a speech as he detailed new infrastructure projects and essentially washed his hands of the regions in the bush. Now, the Labor Party can't even spell aspiration, let alone give Aussies hope for a better life under their warped and worried policies aimed at killing the bush. They'd rather tax people into oblivion than give them a hand. They'd rather take promised monies away from the bush than give them help. And I think Australia it's a bit like America now. It's fairly divided. We've got this Labor and Greens who are ruling for the cities, and if you live in the bush, you're getting smashed. Labor has identified close to $10 billion in funding, money they say was used by Scott Morrison to appease Barnaby Joyce. And that money is headed for the funding scrap heap. It means projects like the $678 million upgrade to the Outback Way Desert Road, which stretches from Winton in Queensland to Laverne in WA, Gonski. It leaves $7 billion in funding out for dams such as Hell's Gate, the Paradise Dam and the Urana Dam, which is quite ironic considering that Albanese can't win a vote in Queensland and yet he's dumping all these projects in Queensland. Now, backing a project like the Paradise Dam in Bundaberg, that was part of the Albanese government's funding commitments at the last election. People voted, a bit like the tax cuts, based on the belief that it would proceed. As I said, just like those stage 3 tax cuts, these were baked into Labor's fiscal plan. Whatever that plan may be, it was baked into the plan. And now they're about to be ditched in the upcoming budget. Another lie, another get square. And let's be frank here, this is a perfect example of a city-centric government pork barrelling. Have a look at this, the new federal ICAC. The city and ignoring the bush because it dares vote Conservative. Or dare we say it, people in the bush vote for people like Pauline Hanson or maybe Bob Catter or, horror of all horrors, Clive Palmer. It's the politics of envy, and it's a government that is discriminating against people based on their postcode. And if you're a farmer or a small business owner, you're getting screwed at the moment. But if you're sipping lattes or Chardonnay in Balmain or West End or St Kilda, you can expect free childcare, and they'll probably even supply you with free glue so you can glue yourself to a painting or maybe even a bridge or a road, all in the name of climate change. Now, during the pandemic, state governments treated the regions like lepers. They closed down businesses, they imposed lockdowns when there wasn't a virus case within hundreds of kilometres. And we're now seeing that same philosophy unravelling under Albanese. He'd rather redirect billions to his old mate Dan Andrews so he can win in Melbourne than give those in the bush a helping hand. It's criminal, it's a disgrace, it's the Australia we live in today. It's also a lesson for the conservative forces in this country, people like Hanson, Catter, Palmer, that the Labor, Greens, Teal, ABC cabal is a real and present danger to this country. And the Tories have no answer. If we want to get this country back on track, we need a coalition of those conservative forces. Maybe they need to have a Chinese feed up at Clive's favourite Chinese restaurant and get themselves together and fight that particular force. Otherwise, get used to this division. I mean, they talk about a voice. The bush has lost its voice.